Can a single, really quiet moment in a 1967 Taiwanese movie completely change an entire genre? You'd be surprised, but yeah, it absolutely can. Today, we're diving into how one film, Dragon Inn, and one incredibly calm act of defiance became a major turning point for action movies everywhere. All right, so we have to start with the moment that really sets the stage for everything that follows. And it's not some huge explosion or a wild car chase. Nope, it's a bowl of noodles. This one moment right here perfectly captures the film's genius. So our hero, Zhao, is confronted by a villain who tries to get in his face to dominate him by taking his food. But instead of blowing up, instead of throwing fists, Zhao just moves the bowl effortlessly. And in that one gesture, we learn everything we need to know. He's confident, he's totally in control, and you are not going to intimidate him. It's character building through pure, calm action. But that simple noodle toss wasn't just some cool move, you know? It was actually the first clue that Dragon Inn was about to create a whole new language for how we see action on screen. Okay, so to really understand why that one moment carries so much weight, we need to zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Who are these people, and what on earth are they fighting for? So the story drops us into a very specific and turbulent time. A super powerful and corrupt group of eunuchs has basically taken over the imperial court. And what's their first move? They execute a good man, the Minister of Defense, and now they're hunting down his kids to wipe out his entire family line. Right from the jump, the stakes are literally life and death. So you've got two sides on a collision course. On one side, we have our heroes, this mysterious, wandering swordsman, a brother-sister duo of fighters, and this secretive innkeeper. And who are they up against? Oh, just the most powerful man in the entire regime and his elite army of spies and assassins. It's a classic setup, you know? A few brave people against an absolutely overwhelming force. And all of these forces are converging on this one single spot, the Dragon Gate Inn. But here's the thing, it's not just a backdrop. It's a pressure cooker. This remote, isolated tavern forces everyone together. It strips away all the pretense and makes a fight totally inevitable. It's the perfect stage to show who everyone really is deep down. So what made this movie so different from everything that came before it? Well, the answer lies with the visionary director behind the camera, a guy named King Hu. Now, King Hu was working in a genre called wuxia. Think of it like China's version of the knight-errant story, or, the American Western. It's all about martial artists, chivalry, and the fight for justice in ancient China. But who? He was about to completely transform it. See, he'd been working at the legendary Shaw Brothers studio, which was the biggest name in Hong Kong cinema at the time. But he was feeling creatively stifled, kind of boxed in by their focus on over-the-top melodrama and spectacle. He believed wuxia could be more than that. He thought the action itself could tell the story, and he knew he couldn't do that within the old studio system. So he made a pretty radical move. He left the most powerful studio in Asia and went to Taiwan to get total creative control. This freedom was everything. He wanted to get rid of the melodrama, use real locations to make his stories feel grounded. But the most important thing he needed? It was time. Time to carefully craft and edit his action scenes, not as just empty spectacle, but as this kind of physical poetry that builds real psychological tension and shows you what's going on inside his characters. And the result? Well, it was a film so foundational that Roger Ebert famously said that just like John Ford's Stagecoach set the template for the modern Western, King Hu's Dragon Inn basically created the blueprint for the modern martial arts film. But King Hu's greatest innovation, the real game changer, wasn't just the stories he told. It was the revolutionary way he actually filmed action itself. You know this famous quote from Bruce Lee? It pretty much nails the philosophy King Hu was pioneering on screen. Before anyone even throws a punch, there's a performance happening. It's all about being ready, not tense. It's a mental game long before it becomes a physical one. See, for King Hu, a fight scene wasn't just a break in the plot to show off some cool visuals. No way. It was the plot. The way a person fought, if they were calm or reckless or clever, that told you more about them than any line of dialogue ever could. You can basically break his method down into 3 steps. First up, anticipation. His heroes are always watching, waiting, reading the room. Second, reaction. Their movements are smart responses. They're not just mindless attacks. And finally, revelation. The fight becomes the ultimate test that reveals who they truly are. It's like a physical chess match. And that's the whole ball game right there. That's the key takeaway from his technique. He blended movement and storytelling so perfectly that they became the exact same thing. And this idea that how you fight defines who you are would echo through action movies for the next 50 years. So what happened next? What was the ripple effect of this one film? Let's take a look at its massive, massive impact on cinema history. Well, first off, it was a monster hit. I mean, we're talking a record-smashing blockbuster all across Asia. And to put that into perspective for you, get this. In Hong Kong, it made more money than the James Bond movie that came out the very same year. So this wasn't just some art house darling, it was a straight-up cultural phenomenon. And its influence never really faded. It won major awards right out of the gate. Then came these influential remakes that introduced the story to brand new generations. And in the 2000s, Oscar-winning director Ang Lee specifically pointed to Dragon Inn as a primary inspiration for the groundbreaking action in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I mean, the legacy is direct and completely undeniable. You can literally see its DNA everywhere. That elegant, almost dance-like choreography in Ang Lee's films, that's King Hu. Those super tense standoffs between a group of random characters trapped in one location, like in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, that's the Dragon Gate Inn. It created a blueprint that countless filmmakers have followed, whether they even realize it or not. So it really makes you wonder, right? Which modern hero's quiet confidence reminds you of that swordsman? The next time you see a character win a fight not with brute force, but with pure tactical brilliance, think back to that bowl of noodles. It all started right there, in a dusty, remote inn where one single, quiet moment changed action movies forever.